the episode with Aimee, but we're too embarrassed to ask. How does just you pronounce her last name?
Really, hey?
Yes, it's. I'm getting inundated with calls.
Pawliw.
Okay.
Yes.
So just like it's spelled.
It's Ukrainian, yes.
Yeah.
So Joel, my partner, he has a Ukrainian gentleman who came from Ukraine just the last couple of years. He moved to Calgary. And I asked him, I'm like, hey, listen. How do you pronounce my last name? Pawliw.
That's how you pronounce it?
Pawliw is the real Ukrainian way to say my last name. But we say Paulo here in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've been introduced so many times to David Hermanson. Even it's got me wondering. I was like, oh, have I been saying it wrong all these years?
How do you say Hermanson?
Hermanson.
Yeah.
Not Hermanson.
Well,
like, I don't know.
Joel being an American, my partner, they say things so funny back home, like back in the U.S. to Canadians. I'll give you an example. Like we say roof, they say roof.
Yeah.
Sounds like rough.
Is that
like
a Wisconsinism or is that an
No,
American thing?
Joel speaks very less, I call it Americano.
Yeah.
Any Americans will probably get mad at me. But no, depending. Like he has such a wide range of friends from being in the military. So when we go to his military reunions, there's like lots of different accents there.
Oh, I'm sure there would be. Yes.
But they always get me to talk because I'm the only Canadian. And they're like, keep talking. We love your accent. And but I think Joel, like when I go,
I don't really hear Joel's accent.
No,
but he's again Wisconsin. Is that
pretty
north.
Canadian?
Yeah, pretty Canadian.
And I think it really depends what part of Wisconsin. They're from.
Yeah.
But no, like I find his sister has a stronger accent than him. I don't know why, but Joel doesn't seem to have much of an accent.
Yeah.
And now he sounds pretty Canadian.
Like for sure.
Yeah, using the A at the end. But there's still things. Every day we talk about it, about our vocabulary and what sounds like what to Americans and to Canadians. And then we get in an argument of what's the right way.
Oh, God, who knows?
Well, I don't know.
The funniest story I think Marie has was, I think, her parents got called into school because they thought Kevin had a speech impediment as a kid.
Yeah.
And then her dad, heavy, thick Scottish accent, came in to the room, and the teacher's like, oh, okay, God.
Yeah.
That's where this kid's not speaking wrong. He learned it from you. But yeah.
Oh, well, we all have our own way of speaking, right? It's not right or wrong.
It's not right or wrong.
That's
I
not
know
right.
with, even when we were kids, you know, my mom said we'd go down to visit all my dad's side down in Tennessee, and they would just marvel, oh my God, these kids, like they just, their accents or whatever. Well, we're kids, we didn't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
well. It was your chat.
So career, what do we talk about today? Career?
Yeah, let's do career and growth.
Career and growth, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to start off again because I'm
an open book.
I guess I'm a boss, right? So, well, anyways, when you started out, what do you wish someone told you? And let me frame that as when you started out in the oil and gas industry. Let's go back to that.
I would say I wish someone told me it actually can be a career.
Yes.
Because even now, I don't think you can go to school to be a pipeliner, but it's a very unconventional career, but it is a career for many people. So maybe treat it that way. Be a bit more professional. Certainly, again, I remember working in the mid-'90s. I couldn't believe it. I think I was working at Pizza Hut, a part-time job at the time, and
Pizza Hut?
yeah, that's where I met Sweet Marie.
Oh no.
Making, I want to say $4.50 an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
And so we went up pipeline, and I just couldn't believe the money. Like, I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, you hear about it, and then I was like, oh, so what do I wish someone had told me? Yeah, don't be a moron, and you can actually do okay, be mindful with your money, and be a professional. And
Yeah.
But I was raised in a good home, so I like to think I was a hard worker, and I showed up early, stayed late, all those, the skills that you can't, that don't necessarily cost anything.
Right.
Be professional, be polite, be respectful, be kind, all those. So I came preloaded with some of those things. But yeah, if someone sat me down and said, David, you're a friggin' 18-year-old kid, you're about to do this for the next 40 or 50 years, so let's get going on the right foot. These are some
And
things.
don't waste your money.
Don't waste your money. Be smart. Don't be dumb.
Yeah.
Be a professional, and treat every job as a learning opportunity and a relationship building exercise.
Well, as a waitress in Grand Prairie in the 90s, I would have to say I appreciated you guys being not very mindful with your money.
Oh, for sure.
You guys would come out of camp and
Oh, good. We're good tippers.
you would have a pretty waitress and just bring you your drinks as soon as they were a quarter empty. I knew always to have it. And you guys, I bought my first home with tips.
Yeah.
And that was from the oil and gas
were
guys.
rough and tumble back then, or they mellowed out over the years?
Well, I wouldn't know what it's like this year, like in today's world as a waitress. But back then, I mean, with anything, you got to be mindful. Because if I got my people too drunk, sometimes they walked out on their tab. I know they would always come back. And also, if I fed them too much respect, they didn't have very much respect, right? You'd see a different side of them. And again, let's talk about leadership. Leadership even goes back to even if you're working in a bar. Because where I worked in Grand Prairie at the Lion's Den, I had this one leader, his name is Scott. And man, that guy, he had eyes all throughout his head because he never would let a man mishandle us, or not respect us. And if he ever seen that, I don't know how he would see it from across the bar in a packed room, but he would see it.
How old is he at the time?
Oh God, Scott, where are you, Scott? I don't know. I don't know. I guess Scott would have been probably in his late 20s then. He was older than me.
Still pretty young.
But he was young,
Yeah.
and maybe in his early 30s, but to this day, he was by far the best leader in the bar business that I've ever had in the way that he took care of his waitresses. So, no, I'm only kidding. Because I would want my kids to learn to take care of their money when they're making that type of cash. And I think the reason why I was a little bit hesitant of saying for my kids to go to camp and make money because it's almost too much money in the beginning at that young age.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a smart head on your shoulder. So I've had a couple of kids come up in it now, and I've given them advice.
Yeah. Good.
So when you were, I guess, starting to level up safety, like, again, so you're sitting in front of me now, what would you go back and tell yourself for advice?
Well, for me, it's not to be so hard on myself, right? Every challenge feels heavy in the moment, but I think there's always growth on the other side.
I feel like that sounds like good advice for life.
Yeah. And to also know that everyone is wired differently, right? So being an empath, you always want the other person to be an empath back, but they're not. And I think that's the biggest thing to do is to read people. I think it's part of our jobs to be in any business is to take a step back, and before you treat them, you can treat one differently than the next. And I think that separates good leaders, right, apart from one another, is you don't treat everybody the same. I mean, you always treat them with respect and how they should be treated, but one person might be more sensitive than the other, and one might not just give a shit. And to stop wasting your time on the people that don't give a shit.
I think some people don't have it in them because we've all worked for leaders over the years. In the end, you look back and they were the worst. But now, as an older guy, I always think, well, I don't know if they had that skill set
Right.
or the humility inside them to even do that. So it was almost like either a skill set they've never developed or learned or something like that. So I always took it as a shortcoming as a person, but maybe they never learned how to do it.
Yeah. And it's funny you said this. Maybe we can just go off track a little bit because I just gave some advice to my sister, or maybe to a friend. Maybe I shouldn't say this out loud yet. But anyways, when you're dating somebody, anyone dating somebody, and if they're coming out of a marriage or a long relationship, and get into a new relationship, their habits might be different, right? So you might have to spend some time teaching your partner that, maybe that's not the proper way or to handle situations, or explain to them who you are as an individual and speak up to everyone's different, like I said, and we can all handle things different on a different level.
For sure.
And maybe you just need to share that with somebody. This is who I am, and this is what is going to make me happy. And realize that if they can't adapt or change, then maybe it's time to move on, right? So I think it's really, really important. I think you and I have talked about this before, and I think it's that all aspects of our life, parenting, relationships, and in work, is to read people. Before you go into that room and you want to open your mouth, read them a bit and see what kind of person they are, because you can really make a difference in their life, right?
For sure.
And you can be tougher on one kid than you can be on the other, and same with it within an employee, right?
Yeah.
You can sit down and start swearing and with one person, but with the other person, man, that just might be on another level for them, right? So I think that's really important too, is just honestly take a step back and read people a little bit.
I like the idea of speaking up and saying, this is who I am, and just, I can't remember the quote, something about unspoken expectations are future resentments or something like that. And I thought it was a good quote. Because unless you say out loud what you, like, verbalize it, and don't just expect it of your partner or whatever. Unless you have the confidence to say it out loud, hey, this is who I am, this is what I expect, or this is what I want out of a relationship. Unless you vocalize
That's
that,
right.
it results in a future resentment. Anyway, I wish I could remember the quote. It's a good one.
I get it. Same with your kids. You got to raise your hand.
Yeah.
You're going to get lost in a classroom with how many kids they put in classrooms now. You're going to get lost. And there's one teacher in there, unless you go to a private school. I mean, we've talked about our kids being lucky going to Calgary Academy. You're 3 and my 1. But, I mean, for the other children all out there, you got to raise your hand and you got to speak up and you got to ask for what you want, or you're not going to get it, because you're going to get lost.
I know.
And I think parents get so caught up and so busy in their life, and same with leaders, that they don't sit back and actually take that into thought.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just something I wish that someone would have told me. And now that I'm learning that, like Joel's telling me, he's like, you're spending too much time on them. They don't give a shit. Right? And I'm like, but no. The empath in me is, but I can help. I can save the world. But at the end of the day, don't waste your time. Get up to your job, be confident about it, and hopefully they come back. And if they don't, that's their loss.
Yeah.
Right? I know I'm doing my job when I show up every day. And that's what I actually just wished in the beginning. But now I'm pretty good. Every day I wake up and I remind myself of my worth. And not to get emotional when someone doesn't respond. I sent an email to catch up with somebody in the oil and gas that I thought I had a connection with, and I didn't hear back. But you can't assume the worst either, right? You can't assume the worst. And sometimes our brains will take us there if we don't hear back. They do end up in the junk. A guy I'm doing business with at one of my technologies, it ended up in my junk today, and we've been emailing each other for a year. So you can't assume the worst. and don't waste your time on that.
No, I like that. I heard a similar conversation with a Jimmy Carr. He's a comedian, but I like listening to him. And he had something talking about, what advice you wish you'd been given, whatnot.
Yeah.
And he said there's a superpower if you can learn how to say no in life.
Yeah.
And protect not just yourself, but protect your time and all these kind of
Yes.
stuff. But man, it's friggin' hard.
That's
Why we don't do it.
I know. Say yes.
Oh,
Say no when needed. Say yes to show up,
yeah.
and say no to wasting your time, right? Okay, David, how do you balance? I think this is really going to be good for a lot of people maybe getting into your industry. And for maybe guys who've been in it for a long time that can finally, you can help. So how do you balance project demands with family life on the road? Now that you've had all these years of experience.
Yeah, it's definitely hard because your days get away from you, and so being in the office, I have a bit of autonomy over my schedule, of course. But when you're on the ground, working in the bush with no cell service, it's really tough for sure to balance some of those demands. I know we struggled in the past when we first started a project in 2019. We used repeater towers for cell service, which were awful. And then we tried InReach, and then eventually the Starlinks came in. But guys would be out of service most of the day and couldn't talk to their family, and it was tough on enough people. A lot of people quit.
Yeah, I bet.
So technology really helped us move forward, where guys could tuck up to a Starlink and touch base with their family and
That's
all this
wonderful.
kind of stuff. So it was actually good for me. Again, being in the office with internet, I have enough autonomy. I'm very fortunate. So, Sweet Marie writes me a big journal entry every morning, and I respond to it at some point
Oh, my.
during the day or
love
sometimes at
that.
night. So we have a real good personal touch point once a
I
day.
like that a lot.
And
yeah.
obviously that now our kids are older, we have the texting and I check in every day.
Yeah.
And again, I'm very, very fortunate, and I know that. So not everyone has that much autonomy that they can do that. But again, I would say, if I were my younger self, having a partner who has always known me to be away, so our relationship has revolved around that. I would say, like anything in life, if you prioritize and make it important,
Lovely.
you'll be successful. It's not a foolproof system, unfortunately, in our industry. But I just having really good friends with my wife, that goes a long way too, obviously.
Sure does.
But yeah, I don't know if I answered your question. What was your question?
So, how do you balance project demands with family and life on the road?
I get very, very fortunate to
You are.
have the level of autonomy
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Where I can pause,
Yeah.
take a moment and pick up the phone or send a text or
Yeah.
all those things. That unfortunately not everyone has that liberty. So if you're in the bush, there is no cell service.
No.
Even where I am right now, it's terrible. So once you
Yeah.
get away from that office and the Starlink, there's no service.
But you have each other, and that's
sure.
the nice thing, right? When we talked about speaking up, right? You guys have each other, and it's about making sure that the new guys feel comfortable enough to be able to speak up.
For sure.
And I think camps have come a long way
For sure.
in the sense of making sure you guys have a place to work out or
Yeah.
pool table or
And lots of resources.
resources. Yeah.
In terms of employee assistance plans and benefits and health, a lot of mental health programs. Have those helped and improved? I'm not too sure. Like we certainly advertise them, and I was reading a study there a few years ago where it's like we spend all this money on these different health and programs in the oil and gas industry, and unfortunately, if you look at a lot of mental health issues, suicide and whatnot over the years, past 15 years or whatever the study was, believe it or not, Aimee, they really haven't changed. And it was really hard for me to see that because we are trying to emphasize this, not just as a company, as an industry.
Yeah.
We're trying to
Yeah.
be better about reaching people. And
I know. Yeah.
so how do you do that outside of those benefit programs? I have no idea, other than be approachable.
Yeah.
If you talk to the guys enough that they actually look at you and
Trust
feel that you give a shit and care about them for real, the chances that they'll put up their hand go up.
Well, sometimes these camps can be an escape for certain families too, if they're in a sticky or abusive relationship at home. And I also realize that, watching our kids be in school, sometimes kids love to go into school because at home it's a scary place for them. And I would find that volunteering. I was a very active volunteer for the children when they were growing up. And, I loved having as many kids in my group as possible so I could at least share the love for, for the kids that needed it, right? Because sometimes school was a way out of home.
For sure. And it's not just kids. I think guys, they can feel when someone cares about them. And, from a purely safety standpoint, we talk about it too. We emphasize the guys, you need to go home, spend time with your family, and try to not bring work home with you and those issues and challenges. But the reality is some of the challenges at home end up coming back to work.
They do.
And that's what we try to be more mindful of, because we don't really know what's going on at home. And they do, if their mind's not in the game, chances are something's going on at home, So we try to suss those issues out over time. But again, unless they know you give a shit, the chances that they will actually open them and talk to you are very low.
That's good.
So yeah, there's some effort into that for sure. So when you were getting going with your family, so that's how I balance my family.
Yeah.
When you were starting Level Up Safety, you would have had to balance those same challenges between family and work and navigate a lot of those issues as well.
Yes. Well, first of all, I had to learn you cannot change the things that cannot be changed, right? You have to accept the things that cannot be changed. And, we've had crap happen in our family. We've had a couple suicide deaths in the last couple of years in our family, and toxic family addictions. And it wipes you out, but you have to show up every day. And that's, I think, the lovely thing about my job is that I get to help people save lives at the end of the day and ensure that they get to go home to their loved ones safely at night. But it's also, for me, I seem to be that one friends and family come to for everything, right? And you have to learn to say no. And I have never done that in my whole life. And that's one thing Joel, has said to me, you have to learn to say no.
Like say no, like in the context, like try to protect yourself a little bit?
Yes. Okay. I want everyone to be saved. I can't save everybody. So when you can't save people with addiction, you can't save people from depression necessarily, but you can show up for them. But you feel so much, right? Certain people do. I think you feel that way too. That if you don't know the boundaries of that, you can take responsibility for that. So that's what I had to learn. Is it's okay to say no. So I'm able to just show up for my work, for the people who need me at my work, and for my family and friends at the end of the day.
What do they say? You can't fill from an empty cup.
That's right. And I think that I had an empty cup up until this last couple of years. Yeah.
How important is having a good partner in navigating some of these things?
Life-changing. They say that every illness is behind an emotion. And I was diagnosed with lupus 12 years ago. And I think, when I had to become a single mom again for a while and all that stuff, I thought, I could get sick again. But, at the end of the day, it was healing for me, right? I wasn't in a place where I was supposed to be, and I'm in a great place. And I have to say, since I've been in an extremely healthy relationship for the last 7 years, I think the beginning of that is knowing my self-worth and accepting the love, right? And then, and now I just, I feel it. I have to fill up my own cup. Nobody else can. I can be in the best relationship, but if I don't know my self-worth, then your cup's always going to stay empty. I work hard. I work hard every day to be the best of myself. I wake up, I meditate every morning. I go to bed, I meditate at night. I meditate throughout the day. I work out every day. And my life is just getting easier. I don't stress like I used to. I don't keep myself worrying all night anymore.
How much of that is having a good partner, and how much of it is
everything.
is having just more years of
Sure.
experience behind you?
Yeah. Maybe both. Right? I'm not too far behind you with age, so I'll be 48 tomorrow. So, I mean, I think a lot of it comes with age. But I can guarantee you, if I was still stuck in those toxic relationships, I still wouldn't know my self-worth. Joel shows up for me every single day, and I am blessed to have that.
You tell him that, I hope.
I do every day, and also with my kids. He's teaching those boys to show up every day, and I'm loved. So it's easy to do my job now, right? And I get to just continue to help people every single day.
How do you translate that into advice to someone who might be considering coming into this industry, knowing full well it's hard on relationships?
Trust the timing.
Okay.
And again, to not become a victim of a challenge, but have that as growth. Period. I know I can go into it, but period, that's it. And I've talked to you about it before. Love. Self-love, man. Self-love. You love yourself. Share that with people. Be yourself.
Yeah.
Like you tell me when I come onto this podcast, be yourself. So I
Be
am.
yourself. I don't know.
Be yourself.
Well, I listen to podcasts because I like them. Because they're good white noise for when I'm driving or working, and I can pick up on every now and again. I will hear those podcasts. I'm like, oh, this kind of half scripted, half sales thing or whatever, and I can pick up on that. And I so like people. Like, it's been really nice for me getting to know you, and
Thank you.
I like
Ditto.
I like the conversations that are interesting to me, and you can pick up when someone's being honest and genuine.
That's right. Here we are. Well, thanks for having this segment with me. I appreciate it.
No, looking forward to many more and just see where these conversations lead. I know there's a lot of, I've always been interested to talk to you more about, there's so many dynamic complexities of our industry outside the actual job. And it's the people life component, whether it's relationship or kids or divorce or addiction or mental health or sobriety or whatever. And, I'm hoping maybe we could dive into some of those topics in the future.
We will.
Until next time.
Thanks, David.